The kettle had whistled twice already, but he hadn't moved. Ramu just stood there, staring at the empty bench outside his stall. It was where his wife used to sit before the illness came, before the hospital visits, before that quiet evening when the doctor had simply shaken his head and walked away without meeting his eyes. Now he made tea for others, for truck drivers, tired watchmen, boys on motorbikes. He stirred the same sugar, poured the same milk, flipped the same brittle newspaper pages, but something in him had stopped. People still came, still smiled, still said, "Chai dena Anna." He smiled back as if his heart still knew how, but the smile never touched his eyes. It stayed stuck, like steam that never found its way out. Some nights he closed the stall early and just sat, silent, elbows on knees, smoke rising, eyes empty. The city kept moving around him, but he had paused. One evening, as the sky began to turn orange, a small boy wandered near the bench. No shoes, thin shirt, hair like monsoon grass. He didn't ask for tea, didn't ask for money, just looked at Ramu, then at the tree behind the bench. "There's a bird in there," he whispered. "Been sitting there for a long time." Ramu looked up. For the first time in weeks, he followed a child's gaze instead of his own grief. The boy continued, "Maybe it's waiting for someone to sing to it." That night, Ramu didn't close the stall early. He stayed, watching the tree, listening for the bird. It never sang, but the silence wasn't empty like before. It felt held, like someone had finally sat beside his pain. The boy came again the next day, sat on the same stone, kicking his feet, saying nothing. They didn't talk much, just shared the same space, the same silence. One day, Ramu gave him tea in a small steel cup. No charge. The boy smiled, eyes lighting up, took the cup in both hands like it was something precious. And when he drank, he closed his eyes, like it was more than tea, like it was warmth and care, and something he hadn't tasted in a long time. Ramu watched him, and suddenly he remembered how his wife used to sip slowly, how she used to say, "Chai to sirf bahane hain, thoda ruk jate ho, wahi kafi hai." Tea is just an excuse. It's the pause that really matters. Ramu felt a crack form inside him, small, quiet. That night he made a cup of tea and placed it on the bench where she used to sit. Didn't speak, didn't cry, just sat next to it. And for the first time breathed in deeply, like something inside had finally moved. Weeks passed. People noticed he smiled differently now, softer, real. He added a few potted plants near the stall, swept the floor more often. Some evenings he played old songs from a dusty speaker. And the boy, he still came, still silent, but his eyes looked lighter now. Ramu never asked his name, the boy never asked his past. They just met in the stillness. One morning, Ramu saw a new face near the banyan tree, a young woman holding the boy's hand. "She's my ma," he said simply. She nodded at Ramu. "He talks about your tea and the tree." Ramu smiled. His heart, for the first time in a long time, felt warm. He waved as they left, then sat back, holding a warm cup in both hands. He didn't feel heavy anymore. The ache was still there, but it had softened. Even when grief has no words, the quiet company of a soul can teach us how to breathe again. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories like this.